Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 13. Oh my gosh, we're almost at the end. Day 13 of following the energy in life and business. And if you've been following, I've said I was doing this for 14 days straight, 14 days of following the energy in life and biz. And I have been talking about a lot of major heavy hitter concepts, tools that I bring up in my one-on-ones, that I bring up in my group programs, that I just find life-changing and pivotal. And so today is to pivot or stay the course. That is the question. I've had this come up a lot in my life. How is everybody doing? Where are you all joining from today? How is your Monday going? I've had a really nice Monday of starting off with a barre class and then acupuncture and then a lunch with a dear friend, and it was fabulous. And so now I'm just doing a little bit of work. Hello, welcome. Today we're talking about pivoting or to stay the course. And let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear, where are you at? Is something coming up for you around this? Have you been thinking about making a pivot, or should you just continue to stay the course? That definitely seems to be the energy that is up. Hello from Argyle, Texas. I'm up in Frisco. I'm trying to think where Argyle is. That's south. Hello, Paso Robles, California. Beautiful area. Welcome. Okay, so nice. The crossroads, amazing. Okay, so pivot or stay the course. What to choose? It has been so ingrained in me to continue on no matter what. And I get that a lot of this stems from my ballet upbringing and that culture and showing up no matter what. Showing up if you're injured, showing up if you're sick. I mean, if you were too sick or injured, you still had to sit and watch class. That was the culture. Not go home and rest, come in and watch class. And so it was like, it was the bar or else. There was nothing else but to be present there. And that was really intense. And so even in my ballet career and time, I had many times where I wanted to pivot. I wanted to choose something else. And I had thought that was it. Ballet was my passion, and I was going to do this at least till I was, 40 or something, and that was going to be it. And so there were plenty of times that it came up that I was pinged to choose something else, but I suppressed it because it was like, well, this is what I'm choosing. This is my passion. So of course I'm going to do this no matter what, no matter how hard it gets. And I realized that my body was really calling me to move on, and it had been trying to get my attention for a really long time. I had struggled with a lot of physical injuries throughout the career, and it's a struggle. It was a very challenging environment, unhealthy environment to be in for a long time. Now, it's not all bad. I had an amazing experience. It really also shaped my life, and I'm so grateful for that. And there was just a lot of intensities as well. So, funny enough, my body had to get my attention by exploding an organ. That's how it got my attention. I had appendicitis that burst. It was misdiagnosed initially, thought I just had a cold. It was not that. My appendix had actually burst and was leaking poison into my body, and I still went to class to sit to watch during this. Yes, I was in crazy amounts of pain, and yet that was the mindset. And so that is so ingrained for me to show up no matter what and stay the course. Now, on one hand, you can say, wow, well, that's really admirable. Or, that can be such a helpful skill, especially when times get tough, that you continue to show up no matter what. However, at what cost? At what point are you creating more difficulty, and are you going the direction that's not really meant for you? And because I had concluded that ballet was going to be it, ballet was going to be my passion, and that's what my career and all those things, I wasn't in question at the time of, well, what else is possible? What else could I choose? And I did a lot of rehab from that because it really took me a while, like 3 months of being pretty sick, and then a year, I would say, of really trying to actually recover my body to get back to normal levels with labs and all sorts of things. And my mental health was like in the toilet at that point because of just all the things. I think my body was just so out of whack, and then my mental health as well, because I physically wasn't the athlete that I was before. And I was the last semester away, and I wanted to end it. I wanted to be done, not end this, but end the ballet career. I'm done. I need to leave and a lot of other things happened that supported that, which I won't go into. And after processing it with family, close friends, I chose at that point to finish. I'm like, I'd come this far. Let me just finish this last semester to get my degree and do the thing. Anyone else go way past the point of no return just to get the degree, get the certification, put that nice little thing in a nice neat box. And on one hand, I am very grateful that I chose that because it did make things more ease later on. And at the time, it was really challenging to keep going. I don't actually still dance. It was very, wow. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot for me. I mean, I put 17 years of this into my life, and it ended with kind of a big explosion. And I guess I was around 24 at the time, 23, 24, when I stopped. And I've taken, I love cardio bar and bar classes that kind of are similar, but I actually haven't gone back into a dance studio or a dance class. I get that I'm probably finally at the state, about 15 years later, that I could do that. And it could be maybe quite healing actually to go to one of those classes. But all that time I was like, nope. I couldn't separate. I even initially started sports psychology before regular clinical psychology because I thought I wanted to help athletes, and it was still too close to home. Granted, that was 2008 when I started that, but it was too close to home to just everything I had been through, and so it was a lot. It was a lot. So I stayed the course no matter what. And after that, I got that, wow, it took my body to explode an organ to say, hey, wake up. 'Tis time to choose something else. Time to choose something else. And so I would say that now, and after many years since then, I've been more in tune and listening to the pangs of the body, to the point that now that's what I teach. Now I teach that because I get that the body is just so wise in what will create greatest for you next. And so since then, I've made a lot of pivots from ballet to then I jumped into hospitality. I was like, well, I like this. And now I don't like that. And then I jumped into fitness. I was a trained cardio bar instructor. Anyone in LA, do you know that? I love cardio bar. It was one of my favorite classes. But the studio didn't open because of the recession. And so that's when I jumped into psychology. And then even within psychology, I've pivoted a bunch from doing traditional therapy to then focusing more on holistic health, and then more into coaching, and then more besides mindset, but also energetics, and now business, and just all the things. And I continue to pivot. And what I'm really perceiving, getting in my body now is that if you're an entrepreneur, knowing the difference here between staying the course and pivoting is life-changing. Because the thing is, you're going to show up and be who you are and put out things, and maybe people will buy, and maybe they won't. And that's just all interesting. And if we become at effect of everything that's happening, whether people are buying, they're not buying, whatever, then you will constantly have the emotional ups and downs. This is why entrepreneurship is such a facilitation on your mental wellness. Because if you are constantly just following the energy of that, of what's happening outside of you, then you, because that's what it is. It's not this nice, straight, nice line. No, it's like, it's all over the place. And so to know when to choose to continue to follow something versus when to pivot is huge. Now, your body, your intuition, your inner being will tell you if you will listen. Now, the problem is, it's like our ego generally jumps in with all the right, the wrong, the good, the bad, should you choose this, I don't know, and then like squashes it. Folks who are here, are you dealing with something like this right now? Are you looking at somewhere you could pivot, or should you stay the course? Let me know. I'd love to hear. And for folks that have been following along, you know that I've recently disclosed, acknowledged a pivot that I was kind of already just naturally choosing. Because when I first started working with folks online in my own capacity under Crest Couch versus my 9-to-5, it was mental wellness focused. Yet I had a lot of entrepreneur and people who wanted to be entrepreneurs working with me. And so it just made sense. I'm like, oh, business is interesting. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about how I show up on social and what's that taught me and what do I know about business? And, it just kind of came this natural thing. Yes, I am. Can't decide. Yes. So, okay. I'm so grateful you shared that. You all shared that because isn't it lovely to see that other people are in the same season, are in the same space, are really at this place of looking at, do I stay the course? Do I just need to continue? Do I just need to muscle through longer? Or is it time to pivot? Yes, got my dream job, but now it is not what I thought it was. Do I stick it out and keep working to make it right? Ooh, yeah, make it right. Or jump ship and start looking for a position that fits my needs as they are now. Wow, yeah. Got my dream job. Do I keep sticking with it to make it work out? I was getting like so much information there. Because this is a really great example, because it's like, I got my dream job, the best thing I could have ever gotten. I got it, and then all of a sudden, choice creates awareness. I choose it, I'm in it, and wait a second. And you get completely different data than what you were expecting. And this is where we freeze. Because we're like, wait a second, I was thinking it was going to be this, and now I'm getting totally different information. Well, what do I choose now? What do I choose? Well, I should stick it out because this is what I thought I wanted. I don't want to be flaky. What are people going to think? They're going to think that like they can't rely on me, right? So let me just stick it out a little longer. Versus honoring your awareness. What else is possible? And that's the thing is when we start to honor our awareness and the information we get, we can fly. We move a lot faster. Right? We slow ourselves down with the, let me think about it. Is this right? Is this wrong? I don't want to piss people off and blah, blah, blah. Right? And there could be all other sorts of things as well. I'd like to acknowledge like financially and all that. Yes, right? It's a lot of things to consider. And it's like, okay, I have the awareness. What would it take to follow that? And this is why I say you always know. You always know. It's just, do you choose it? Yes, it's so helpful to see that I'm not alone. Absolutely. Can't decide if I should venture off to help a startup grow and learn from that experience. That's just the business side. Yeah. And so you can start to play with this by asking the energy, pinging the energy. Will this create greater if I choose it? Yes or no? It's that simple. Because no one can tell you this is the right decision, this is the wrong, and you can pro and con it to death, and you can end up on either side. Isn't that amazing? Yet you could just follow the energy, because the energy will never lead you astray. Even if you choose something and it is bumpy, it's like if we ask for the universe to show us something greater or create greater, it's like the choice that is lightest is going to get us there the fastest, get us where we're going the fastest. It might not look like what you wanted it to look like or what you planned. And what else is possible? The universe can orchestrate, co-create with you infinite possibilities that our little human brains can't even cognitize, that we can't even fathom. And so it's like we have this extreme distrust of the universe. It's like we're in a bad relationship with the universe. Ooh, it's like a trauma bond. I don't trust you. I love you. I hate you. Don't leave me. Kind of thing, right? That's where we're at. We don't trust it. And so then we go into trying to figure it out and trying to control it. And this is the trauma response. When we are trying to control results, we are trying to control what happens. It's because we're in a trauma response. We're in an anxious fight or flight. And so we're seeking to put everything into place. Things, reference points, okay, got my ducks in a row. I'm all set. Because it's like, well, we're at this place where we've done all this healing work and I'm super self-empowered and I'm self-actualized, so I create my reality. Yes, and a lot of things happen to us that we didn't expect, didn't plan for, right? It's way more than we can even completely create. And so we create our reality based on how we respond. Based on how we respond. And so I can look at something and be like, this is wrong, this is bad, this shouldn't happen, blah, 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 and stay stuck there and be like, okay, well, I just need to stay the course and keep pushing this boulder uphill. Or what would it create to pivot? What would that create? Now, the thing to get between the two is that, and generally, you want things yesterday. If you're like me, you want things yesterday. You make a decision, it's like, okay, it's done. Well, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, what's it going to take? Where is it? And it takes a second to grow things in our reality. If you just look to nature, yes, some things can pop up overnight, like weeds tend to pop up overnight. And I'm looking at trees outside my window. It takes the trees a second to grow, especially the fruit ones, to produce edible fruit. It takes time. And so when we put on the constraints of this needs to happen next month, this should happen in 6 months, this should happen in a year, in 2 years I'll be here, it's like we muck up the energy. We have to be willing for the universe to organize, restructure, and build a new foundation in order for things to fruit and in order for us to harvest. And so this is where if we've just been with something for a week, a day, why isn't it happening? Why hasn't it changed yet? I'm making different content now. People still aren't buying. What's happening? That is the vibe of continuing the course. Continue the course. I need to do some more plowing, more tending to the soil, more watering, more fertilizing, right? Continuing that. However, if you've already done that. You've been through some harvests and the tree is diseased still and it's not fruiting and it's like, I've tried all the things. What else could I try? And you get the ping to choose, to pivot, to transition. What if the pivot is the lighter choice? Do you see the difference there? I get confused whether I should pivot from the small business I started, or is my confidence just low around it? Yeah, so it's kind of like, what have you decided is valuable for you? Because, now that online businesses are all over the place in general, we see a lot of people sharing wins and really, crazy wins that I've never even seen before, if you will, successes, milestones, whatever. And we can start to look at those and be like, that should be my win. Like, I should want that. But do you even want that? Like, do you want something different than your small business? Have you decided it's not good enough to be valuable enough? Right? So if you just 86 everyone else's opinions about it and you had an interesting point of view about it, would that be fulfilling what you have created? Because that's all that matters. Does it fulfill you? And if not, cool. What else could you choose? What could you add? What if a partner is not on board with your path? Can be challenging, absolutely. And it might require extra conversations, just more conversations around it. This is what I'm really desiring to choose. I mean, I hear this a lot. I'm thinking, like, an example came in my head of like, okay, let's say one partner is on a kind of 9 to 5 stable journey, if you will. And let's say you're in a 9 to 5 and you're really wanting to leap out on your own and create something. So I'm just going to use this as an example. And the partner who's of the mindset of, 9 to 5, I feel good in this and this is predictable and whatever. And you're like, I'm ready to try something else and work for myself and have the freedom and do all those things. And if there's like the money struggle there, it's like, okay, well, what could we choose to facilitate each other feeling more comfortable with this choice? Does it mean saving more money before leaping? What other kind of support nets could we put in place? Now, of course, we could put all the nets in the world in place and, you just never know. The universe can do all sorts of things. Mother Nature is wild sometimes, And so it's like, we can be mindful of putting supports in place, and at some point, we choose first. We go first. And so what would it create to have some of these conversations? Just lay out, well, what would it create if we did, like, let's say, put more money in the bank? Because I'm really feeling pulled to leap and choose this path. And I'd really love your support on that, because I don't see myself continuing on this path. Right? It's like we can't force them to. And at the same time, right? It's like, what is going to work for you? How do we know what the lighter choice is? Great question. Okay. With perceiving energy, everyone perceives it differently. And perceiving means like seeing it from your body. It's like not feeling. It's kind of like sensing. You perceive energy. When you like walk into a room of people, can you cut the tension with a knife? Like, you can see it, you can maybe hear it, you just perceive. You perceive it by your body is reading it, so to speak. Right? Okay, so it's not in the head, it's not right, wrong, good, bad, it's not cognitive, it's your body senses it. Along with that, as it's sensing the frequency tends to be buoyant, expansive, spacious, exciting, full of possibilities, and also maybe terrifying. Like you're about to jump off a cliff. I'm really excited. I want to take this. Like that. And that's the sense where people get a little tripped up, because fear and excitement are really similar frequencies. Because they think, well, if I'm in fear, that's not the right choice to make. It's my body trying to protect me. But then excitement is really similar because it has your nervous system activated. And so this is where you got to look at, well, what am I aware of here? And really seek to get yourself out of judgment, because our judgment projection can muck it up, right? It's like our body perceives something and then our ego's trying to make sense of it through all its projections and whatnot. So it like inherently mucks it up. And so we look at, well, if we had an interesting point of view about this, if it was just interesting, what would I choose? What would be lighter and expansive? Heavy tends to like thud. Kind of has like a dead end. Just the energy kind of dies. And this is something in general that entrepreneurs have to like stimulate for themselves, like constant like generation of energy. However, if we've been stimulating it over and over again and the thing still, it keep versus very different. And this is why it's like right now I'm seeking to put words to what I'm aware of, and I'm also just communicating it via the energy I be with it. What other questions do you all have around pivoting, continuing to stay the course? Because that's the thing, is I sense it's like one of the main reasons we think we should stay the course is for what other people will say, how other people will judge us. You're flaky. You're unreliable. You can't just change your mind every day. And so then we stop ourselves in order to be liked by others. I can't decide what should be the main focus of my content. I'm a musician, but I love dancing and traveling and mental health. I feel like I should focus on one thing only. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's like, who does that belong to? Because like, how many times have you heard someone say, pick your niche, stick to one thing, and on one hand, I appreciate that, and I get, because then an audience sees something over and over again, right? And it does require people repetition to get who you are. So it's like, oh, so that's kind of like, oh, let's say you just picked one, music, and you just stuck to that. And then what if you started to get bored, and it's like you forced yourself to create the music content, but then the energy wasn't behind it, and you're like, oh, because this is what I should do, and then people feel that. And so I really love Justin Schumann, if you follow him on TikTok or on IG as well. He's a Broadway actor turned like content creator, and he talks all about like humaning better on social media. And it's like this whole idea of like, you are the niche. Like all those things are interesting because you are a multi-dimensional being. I think Sahara Rose has been talking about that recently as well, about just like all of her different interests. And so what could you create that would be really interesting about all of that? Because the way I always like to see it is, if you see like, if you ever watch like a fashion show from a designer, or was it Project Runway? Or just in general, a fashion show, it's like each piece is different and like tells a story on its own. Yet there is, the ones that are really successful, if you will, there is this vein of gold, this like vein that ties them all together. There's an energy behind them that ties them all together. Each piece together. Music, dance, traveling, mental health. It's like, what is the energy of all of that? It's like freedom, movement. Music is moving, dancing is moving, travel is moving, mental wellness. It's like, to me, it's all very free-flowing energy, not stagnant energy. Like, that's exciting. What are they going to post today? Right? So what if you could out-create the niche paradigm and be like, no, I'm going to create what I want. And you followed that. Because what matters the most is your energy behind it. Because when we go into, I should do this, I should create this is the right business strategy, blah, 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 then and it's not, and people feel it. Hi, I've done it. I've done it. That's why I could talk to it. Because I created really intuitively for a while, and things just like worked really well for me in business very easily. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me try to do this better. And now I need to do it right. So then I started to like try to implement all the things. And then my business was like, what are you doing? Things were fine when you just followed your intuition. I was like, okay, I'll go back, I promise. And so that's why I'm so passionate now about teaching folks to tune into what they know, to trust themselves, to talk to their business, to talk to the energy, to follow the energy. Because that's what creates the magic. That's what's interesting. That's what people want to see. You're unique. You are unlike anybody else. You know this. Perhaps you just need the reminder. You are unlike anyone else, so for what purpose do you attempt to be like somebody else? This is the be, do, have. This is you being it to create your reality. So to pivot or stay the course, I tune into my awareness. What is my awareness telling me? Maybe it's just, for me, it's like sitting with some binaural beats and just calming my nervous system down for a minute and literally having a conversation with myself. What will create the greatest here? And just, it's like I respond. It like just the information jumps in. Stay, pivot, change, choose something else. Now, whether I choose it right away is a process, right? Because if my ego goes into like, oh, that's not right, or like, what are people going to think, blah, blah, blah. No, just choose. Just choose. Just choose. Just choose. And so that's where I've been getting lately, because I've looked at a couple different things in business. Okay, stay the course. Yep, stay the course with this. Nope, this needs to change. This needs to pivot. I'm like, oh, okay. So this, I'm getting, would I look at the energy of certain things? Like, I'm getting this thing needs more tending to, more work before I can harvest. And then this other thing, it's like, I kind of, so I'm like, okay, I'm bored with you. Move on. Create something else. Create something else. Create something else. Create something else. And the things that tend to do the most, I would say, so this is my business strategy, if you will. The things that tend to do the most are the ones that drop in and I go. Drop in and choose and be like, yep, and we're starting next week. Go. Yep, we're starting tomorrow. Go. How does it get better than that? I could just follow that. If I'm willing to be that fast. If I'm willing to be wrong. Because that's the thing. I could follow that and I get more information. Okay, cool. They created more awareness for me. What else? What else? What else? What else? But if I am stuck at, oh, this is wrong and that didn't work out and no one did that, no one bought or no one cares or whatever, no one liked it, no one shared it, then I'm there. Disempowered universe. And I'm not able to choose. I'm not able to pivot. I really like paralyzed myself. Any other questions around this? This is it, y'all, though. This is it. All right, so we have one more day tomorrow and following the life and biz and following the energy. And I don't really know yet what I'll talk about. Pivot came in today, and I like to just choose on the fly, like these types of things, and follow the energy. And if you are wanting more support on your biz, follow my stories today, because I dropped something I'm really excited about. And this was follow the energy type thing. Came to me yesterday. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Someone's calling for this. Multiple people are calling for this. And so I dropped an Accelerate Mini Mind 6 weeks with me, weekly hot seat facilitation calls, a one-on-one call with me for us to get our eyes, my eyes as well, on your business and facilitate you towards trusting more of you and what you know, what is coming up for you. So not me saying like, do this, do that, do this. It's like, no, what are you? Where's the energy with this? And like me there, following the energy with you and perceiving, oh, well, yeah, that was light. That was kind of heavy, right? And just facilitating you that way so that you can get clear on this process and being able to choose. So it's quick and it's fast and we're starting next week. And you either know or you know. You either know or you know. And if you choose it within the next 3 days, I'm giving folks my September Activate bundle free. Because it's like, you already know. You already know if it's for you. You already know. You don't need much information to know the energy of something. And I was like, this thing is short and potent. And some people like longer containers, right? And some people just need a kind of thing. And sometimes you need all the things in your life. So that is going on. There's more of my stories about it. You can DM me for the link for that one if you want to jump into that. And then also, I've been talking about it each day. Activate. The doors are closing Wednesday for our new program, which is Let Your Biz Tell You What to Do. Activate is my membership that is a minimum 6-month commitment that includes a different program each month and a masterclass and Q&A and all past portal stuff. Encouraged to choose. So this month we're talking all about let your biz tell you what to do, because this is it. This is the whole piece of communicating with your business. Now these calls are different. They are live training, so they don't include the facilitation or the coaching. So they're live training calls. So I'm going to be talking about that is the program, Let Your Biz Tell You What to Do. And the masterclass is Forget Scared, Be Scary. Halloween themed, right? To be the energy that is required, to not crumble in the face of needing to be people pleasing to clients or whatever. Boundaries. I mean, it's my thing, I've been on here forever with that stuff. So that link is in my bio. And we start Wednesday with that new program. So I wonder what pings you. DM me if you have questions. And if not, I'll see you mañana. Bye.